Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name is Andy. My channel is Finding Value. If you like making money, this is the channel for you. It's a financial education channel. We mainly focus on commodities. I do talk about other subjects as well. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up for this content. I'm going to go over an overall market update and show you what I am seeing. I'm actually getting a little bit excited, not for things to go up, but for things to continue to pull back. And I'm excited that I can actually enter a lot of these companies at better prices. So I'm going to go over this, show you what I see. It's an overall market update. I'm going to touch on a couple of different things here. Nasdaq and how that thing's really tanking out, and it could be pulling the entire market down. But it looks like we're just seeing an overall market pullback. So let's look at some of these charts. This is the Nasdaq Composite. When looking into this, and things are additive. So we see one of the technical trading things that I look for are bearish engulfings, bullish engulfings. And what a bearish engulfing looks like is this guy right here. It's a candlestick body that engulfs the ones before it. Now, some of this, as there's a lot of momentum coming up in the market, they'll start throwing these signals saying, hey, look, I'm about to change. There's sellers here. There's sharp reversal patterns that people are offloading these shares. The ratio of sellers to buyers, you can't necessarily see that in a volume candlestick, what the ratios are. But what I'm looking for are characteristics of big down days, the big candlestick down days. And I'm looking for lots of them. So there's one here, and it's bigger than all the other up days around it. There's a big one here. There's one here. There's one here. They start adding up. And what you see is there's not really a lot of large up big move candlestick days. It's these big getting hit down movements where people are offloading a bunch of shares. And then the sell-off comes. Here it comes, bearish engulfing, boom, 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 and now we're falling off a cliff, so to speak. So the NASDAQ does not look good. It looks like it wants to pull back. How far? I can't tell you the exact distance, but this looks like a topping pattern to me. And I'm not going to sit here because people can be made a fool trying to call tops on things. But if I were to wager, this looks like a topping pattern. And topping patterns can happen in high growth stocks from higher yields. So when you look at the yields here, and I've got this as the US 10-year US Treasury yield, you can see that we're in a clear uptrend here. And yields are going higher. Now, the debate here is, why are yields going higher? Is it because of inflation? And remember, some weeks back, I also said, well, maybe people think that the government's insolvent. We could have a debt crisis. And maybe that's the case too. I've never seen a debt crisis, and I don't really know what they look like from a charting perspective. I know interest rates are going to go up if people don't believe that the bonds will be paid back with paper that's worth anything. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I'm not 100% sure. But typically in history is yields rise because of inflation. That's the go-to thing. If it's a debt crisis, you should see these spike like heck, I think, where people are really not willing to take bonds. But the government is buying the heck out of them. That's what QE is. Here's the dollar. We see the dollar. It was up today as well. This is from yesterday. We don't have today, or Friday, I should say. But this is coming back up, and I think today was up a good amount as well. So we're seeing a short-term movement up in dollars. So that's going to put pressure on commodities. It's going to kind of press everything or push everything down. That's commodity related because commodities are priced in dollars. Here's lumber. Lumber is killing it. Very nice, good uptrend. Maybe it pulls back some. This could be a shoulder head and a shoulder developing because we do have three big down days, the big candlesticks, and then the smaller up days, like it's fighting to go up on lower volume. So we'll see. This is TLT. There's no mercy on TLT. It's continuing to go on down as those yields rise. GLD, no mercy on here either. GLD is definitely pulling back. This does not look strong. We got the 50-day crossing the 200-day. I still think that gold's going to be a good bet during this next commodity bull market. I'll go over some other videos on why I think so, and I'll show you the data that I have. But GLD at the moment, I'm using this just as a representative of gold. I don't actually invest in GLD, but it is experiencing some weakness. What I typically like to do is I wait for that weakness to run out. I want to see the momentum change, and I want to buy into strength. So I would still be holding on any large purchases of GLD, SLV, any of those things. It is very cheap. It has good value, but I'd like to see the buyers step in here because we don't know where this bottom is yet. I haven't seen any indications yet. Same with SLV. The good thing about SLV is this thing's contracting down, which is very, very nice. The candlestick body lengths are getting smaller, which means the opening and closing prices are getting closer and closer to each other, which means that there's buyers and sellers starting to equal each other out. Another thing I look at is I look at some of the companies, and what I look for is strength in the companies, and I can see Anglo Gold Ashanti is coming back up, even though gold is down. So some people are rotating money into some of the mining companies. WPM, it is holding its ground, but we do have a bearish engulfing here. So be patient. I wouldn't be stepping in here. I mean, I did add a little bit to the hypothetical portfolio. We still could have a little bit more downside here with this bearish engulfing. I want to see what the market does. But there is weakness in gold right now. First Majestic, it sold off today some, but we're still in a pretty good uptrend here. So I would be holding on. I own First Majestic. I'm not doing anything with it. Here's some home builders just to give you guys a little bit different sectors outlooks. So however you pronounce this, Hovninen, however you pronounce it, Hovninen, maybe. This one's going up 7%, looking absolutely strong like bull. Same with KB Homes. Same with LGI Homes. These are all going up, signaling that the housing market and home builders are very strong. XLE, this is the Energy Select Sector Spider Fund. This thing is losing a little bit of momentum here, a little bit. We could potentially see a pullback. Let's look at some of the companies. SM Energy, bearish engulfing, it could pull back a little bit. Same with Centennial Resource Development. This is dark cloud cover. It's a strong reversal pattern, and we're heading back down a little bit. And CPE has dark cloud cover as well, so we're probably going to have a little bit of a pullback here. Would I be selling my shares? No, I'm just riding this thing higher. But we could have a short-term pullback. URNM, I know some people like them some uranium. I like uranium myself, but we are still in a pullback. I do not see any indication of a bottom yet. This is Denison Mines, still pulling back. We've got GGX Uranium. I wouldn't be a buyer yet. It contracted down here, was looking pretty good. We've got some nice support here, but it did break through that support. And when you see these large down days like this, and then you see the two small up days, I think we're going to see another down day here. We could pull back somewhere down here. I hope we pull back down here because I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be a big buyer in uranium if this thing continues to pull on back. Global Atomic, same thing, bearish engulfing here. We're continuing to pull on back. We broke this little uptrend here, so we could see some further downside. Next Gen Energy, that thing's hitting the turbo to the downside, unfortunately. But I think no signs of turning around. We just have to wait and see where this thing ends up. So overall, looks like everything's kind of pulling back. I don't see too many strong sectors, don't see too many strong stocks. I would be patient here. Get your money, find your companies, watch the companies you like, and let's just see where this thing bottoms out yet. We need this momentum to slow down. Yields are going up. Nasdaq's going down. I think we all, in our previous videos, you can see I kind of was predicting the top of Tesla and all these other companies. They were kind of slowing their momentum. I was seeing these big candlestick down days. Apple, Amazon, Tesla, NEO, they're all exhibiting this. And I'm like, man, this looks like a top. I wouldn't be jumping in here. We know the retail sector jumped in it like mad. And that's usually the last stage of a bull market, is when the retail sector really gets involved in it. This potentially could be pulling everything down. And I was thinking that potentially, since everything is so linked, that they would all kind of fall down together, one being a bull trap, one being a bear trap. Eventually, they'll create those things, and then we'll break apart, and then it's game on for the commodity bull market in the big move to come. So we're still heading down. I think we've got great opportunities ahead of us. I mean, absolutely fantastic if this can pull back a little bit more for buying opportunities to load up for the commodity bull market that's coming. I'm going to release tomorrow probably some information, some data on how I see market conditions and valuations. I'm going to touch on uranium specifically, and I'm going to touch on just overall market conditions and value to give you guys a better feel for what I see and why I think the viewpoints I have. So hopefully it'll explain that a little bit better and why I think gold, silver, and all these commodities could potentially go up. Thanks for listening. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up for the content. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.